Hey guys, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. Thanks for checking out today's first impressions. I'll be talking about a relatively new release. In fact, I'll be pulling a Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. Every time they have a keynote address, he's like, today we're very happy to announce a brand new technology that allows you to use your phone to message somebody on their phone. And we call it messaging. Isn't that amazing? Revealed for the first time today. Meanwhile, Android users are like, we've had that for years. So today I'm pulling a Tim Cook, acting like I'm the very first person to give my first impressions on this new release, Terre d'Hermes Eau Givrée, the new fragrance from Hermes. That and more is coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone, and welcome to my first impressions of Terre d'Hermes Eau Givrée, the new fragrance by Hermes. It was released probably, mid-May, something like that. So it has been out for a little while. Shout out to Ash of Gent Sense. I was over at his house a couple days ago and I tried this for the first time. So that's my actual original first impression that I'll be telling you about. And I'll talk to you a little bit about my continuing impressions with this fragrance. So I'm not going to do the normal unboxing. Here's the bottle itself. I will show you a little bit of a close-up of the bottle so you know what you're looking at. This is what the bottle looks like. If the camera can focus. There you go. So it has that same basic bulky square body that you know and love with the whole Terre d'Hermes line of fragrances. Basically, it is the same thing. It has the cap that pulls off like that. Terre d'Hermes has the twist cap. So a little bit of a difference in the functionality. One of the nice things about Eau Givrée is it is refillable. So I'll show you, I don't know if you can see if this is gonna focus on this. There you go. So it shows you how to actually refill the bottle. That's what most fragrance houses are doing, at least in the designer arena. There's your QR code on the side of the box, is going to a refillable bottle. It just makes more sense, not only economically, but for the environment. The back of Eau Givrée is frosted glass. Now, why will they have it frosted? Have you seen the commercial for Eau Givrée? Basically, this model is standing somewhere on some plateau and he puts his hand on the ground, which turns into ice. It looks like he's somewhere potentially volcanic, and he stands up. Some of the soil runs through his fingers, and then the announcer, in his very announcer-like voice, says, "The heat of ice, Terre d'Hermes Eau Givrée." So the reason this is frosted is to give the look and the feel of ice, because similar to Yop Homme Ice, Fusion de C Extreme, gosh, name any other fragrance that's tried to do that correlation between heat and ice, and that's basically what they're doing in Eau Givrée. Have they succeeded in the tagline of the heat of ice? The reason I didn't run out immediately and purchase Eau Givrée was that my faith in Hermes was shaken just a little bit when they released H24. Now, H24 is not a bad fragrance. It's very pleasant smelling, in the open. I actually really like the open of the fragrance. It just doesn't have any legs, just doesn't go anywhere, and it's super linear. And so I wasn't super stoked about the new Eau Givrée. I knew I wanted to try it out because H24 is a pillar fragrance. It is not associated with Terre d'Hermes, the original. Terre d'Hermes, amazing fragrance. Eau Très Fraîche, amazing fragrance. This, of course, has been discontinued, ran into some regulatory issues, and now no longer available. In fact, I feel like it's quite possible that Eau Givrée is bumping out and taking the place of Eau Très Fraîche simply because it's no longer available. Hermes said, let's fill that spot in the gradient, because really, you've got Terre d'Hermes on this end of the gradient, and you have Eau Très Fraîche somewhere in the middle here, in the middle of that. You got Intense Vetiver on the far end of the gradient. So I feel like this is probably to take the place of Eau Très Fraîche. What about the formula of Eau Givrée? What are the contents? It is an eau de parfum concentration. They've only published 3 notes. I'm sure there are likely more notes that we're not aware of, but the only published notes are in the open. You've got something called cedrat or citron, basically the same thing. Citron is just a huge, ugly lemon, I call it. It's a cross between smelling like a grapefruit and a lemon. It's just extremely citrusy. I call it an ugly lemon because the rind is just, it looks like it's been punched multiple times, and it's very, very thick. I'll show you a cross cut here so you can see what it looks like. Next up, we have Nepalese pepper, turmeric pepper, and then juniper berries. And that's all that's listed. Citron, juniper berries, and Szechuan pepper, or Nepalese, or Tamir, whatever you want to call it there. Those 3 notes. Now, FragranceX.com posits that there's also woods and mineralic notes in the base. So it's quite possible that there are woods, mineralic notes, some other earthier notes, maybe even vetiver, patchouli. Those are typically found in the base of most fragrances. That's basically what comprised Terre d'Hermes Eau Givrée. I sprayed it earlier on my hand. I'm going to go ahead and spray it again because, guys, let me just tell you, if you don't already know, which I feel like most of you already are aware of the facts of this fragrance that I'm going to present to you today, it puts me in mind of how I felt originally when I tried Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. You know, that extremely grapefruit-centric zest. When you first smell that, you're just like, wow, that's like summer in a bottle. That's very much how this comes across. That citron is super strong, super citrusy, super lemony, but again, kind of a cross between grapefruit and lemon. You know, it's not all grapefruit like Light Blue Forever is. It's more of like it pulls back from the grapefruit and is full on, very strong, stout, citrusy lemon. But what I do like about this fragrance is that, you know how, you talk about fragrances being intelligent, how you can kind of break down the levels, the top, the mid, and the base. It is eventually possible to do that with this in the dry down. However, when you first spray it, you're literally getting all those components, all those notes, all at once. Citron, that pepper, which gives it volume, and in the background, you've got juniper pushing it forward as well. There is a very woody vibe in the background, so I would have to agree with FragranceX.com that there's got to be some kind of woods in this, along with possibly vetiver. It's got a definitive, elegant, dry vibe about it as well. In fact, it puts me in mind of Dior Homme 2020. It's got that very woodsy, very clean, ISO-y super kind of smell about it that is extremely refined. So, having said that, is this a casual or a dressed up fragrance? Citrus is all about the casual, but again, having that refined, woody, clean backbone, that kind of ISO-y super clean, makes it feel like you can also dress up. If someone walked into a room where I was at, fully dressed up, smelling like this, I would just be like, that is a boss fragrance. I really want to know what that is. Super citrusy, but also very woody and very clean, like Dior Homme. I actually think this is a better fragrance than Eau Fraîche. I can't talk about the longevity of this fragrance, but it does come across a bit stronger. It is an eau de parfum concentration. Eau Fraîche is an eau de toilette concentration, so it wouldn't be a true replacement, right? But I feel like it's going to perform just a bit better. I do like it better in the open. Eau Fraîche is a very light, very airy fragrance. This is light, it has a volume, but it does have a density and a weight about it as well. It's definitely going to be a spring and summer fragrance because it is very citrus forward, similar to Light Blue Forever. I wouldn't call it a beach fragrance because of that woody backbone, but you could definitely wear it pretty much wherever you want casually. Whereas I wouldn't wear necessarily Light Blue Forever in a dressed up situation. You can definitely wear this one in a more upscale environment. This is a 50 ml bottle of Eau Givrée. It comes in 50 ml, 100 ml. You can get right now, I believe at Neiman Marcus, a 100 ml bottle for $137. Terre d'Hermes fragrances are historically right around the $100 mark, a little over 115 bucks. So it's not going to be substantially different than the new release cost. If you're a fan of Terre d'Hermes and you do like Eau Fraîche, you like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever, I think that you would then really like Eau Givrée. It's hard to believe that Christine Nagel, who's the house perfumer for Hermes, is the same person who created H24, and she created such a better fragrance in my estimation in Eau Givrée. I would definitely take Eau Givrée over H24 any day of the week. I feel like it's a much better body, much better aroma, and much better character and depth and intelligence in the fragrance than, a lot of sclarine. Well guys, that's it for my first impressions of this brand new messaging technology. Go out there and enjoy. Send messages to your loved ones and your family. I just think Tim Cook, and in particular the keynote address every year, is pretty funny because they just act like they're the first ones to think of something and it's already been around for a while. In similar fashion, there are citrus fragrances out there, but very few come close to the kind of quality that Hermes does in Terre d'Hermes Eau Givrée. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out my first impressions video today. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.